Thomas and Kaden here. So Thomas Mower, he's the Director of Global Operations, and Kaden Mower, Product Marketing Manager. We want to hear about your story, and did you grow up in this amazing family?
This is one of my favorites to talk about because unlike a lot of normal, I mean, I wouldn't say normal, but a lot of family businesses, a lot of people have a certain stigma of children that were just placed up high in the ranks, that they didn't really earn where they came from, that they're kind of entitled. And this is not how we were raised whatsoever. We were raised to work from the ground up and honestly to work harder than anyone else in our departments and really learn the businesses. And it really made us better for it for working at Sisel, because I genuinely know that me and Thomas know Sisel's business, whether it's compensation plan, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's new products, whether it's even customer service and all the employees and benefits and all of that. We know better than pretty much anyone in this company. And it's because we've worked through all of the different departments. And so if you look at the screen, you can actually see little old me, 7 years. Actually, I think this might have been the Mower Mountain that you went to.
That's right.
And yeah, this is little me. And it's crazy thinking in 2004 that now, 2020, 25, that I would actually be planning all of these events and how much it's gotten bigger and better from these events. But let's go through a little bit of my experience. So you'll hear very similar from Thomas's story. First off, to this day, me and Thomas actively work on our cattle ranch, on our property up the canyon. Some of the stuff that's really taught us is hard work, genuine hard work. They always say, actually, in college, when I'd work random odd end jobs, they'd always say they wanted to hire a cattle rancher because they know at midnight, if the cows get out, that rancher has to go fix the cows and that they have to go work. And it's not I'm off at 5, I don't work after 5. It's if we have a call with you guys at 5, guess what? We're going to be on the call. If we have 1 in the morning pickup at the train station for distributors, then we're going to go pick them up. And so throughout our whole life, we've always worked on the ranch to learn hard work. But also, starting about 15, 16 years old, we started in maintenance, and that was sweeping the floors to working on shelves over in maintenance to painting lines in the parking lot. It really helped us learn that ground-based level, but also it taught us to work really hard. It taught us all of the main department heads. It taught us how the building operates. From there, I actually ended up going up to Utah State as well as Thomas, but I specialized in the business side of the John M. Huntsman School of Business, where I would get my marketing degree. After that, my dad thought it would be a great idea for me to come back and use my shiny marketing degree to work at the warehouse in the receiving department, moving around pallets all day, which at the time I didn't really understand. But now looking at it, it makes all the sense, because when I graduated, I came back and was able to really understand the manufacturing process of all of our products. I interacted with every raw ingredient in Ficoidin and Brain Vitality and Encompass 360. I saw all of the quality measures when we would bring in raw materials. I would help receive it in, take it into quality, let them pull their samples, wait for all of the C of A's, put it into inventory, and then move it to move orders for production. And then from there, after about a year of working there after I graduated from college, I went into the customer service side over at Sisel, and that's where I really got to understand all of the distributors. I got to understand compensation plan. I got to understand business and the bonuses, and got to understand how people would recruit and they would call in. And we actually got caught a handful of times. I'd have certain leaders call in and be like, "Are you a Mower? Are you a Mower? Are you?" I don't know. It's like, yes, I am in customer service. But it really helped me understand all of the interaction with products that distributors have as well, and all of the little ways that they use in detoxing through putting Spectramax on patches on their hands, and all of the other fun ways that people use products. But then from there, I ended up, after a year of being in customer service, I was able to be a marketing coordinator and move into what my degree was in marketing. And I loved that I started as a coordinator, because a marketing coordinator in our department is basically in charge of every designer and all the projects that go out to the programmers, to designers, to social media. And you organize all of their time and priorities to help get projects done. And from there, I really specialized into products. I became a marketing specialist, where I started to get to work on bigger projects that I'll talk about. And then from there, I really specialized into product. I loved research and development. I loved bringing new products to market, which we'll actually talk about one of them that we brought this year just after this. But kind of in the end, after you have maintenance and you have customer service and you have warehouse and all of this, it's hard to put our titles into one title, but we kind of do a little bit of everything. I went on marketing side, Thomas went more operations, but we both have set research and development and sales. We go out and travel. Just in July, we went to Japan and did our first international convention, which was awesome. We go travel all around the States and do different conventions and masters. But let's talk a little bit about each of those main departments and what we do. So in marketing, going through some of my experience, one of my favorite projects that I started was when I very first started into the marketing department. They said, we need a give back campaign. And so this is right after my grandfather had passed. A lot of our give back was attached to him, and we needed a new give back campaign. So I came up with Sisel Service. And this is what kind of led me into product marketing, because my first project I worked on was Sizzle Nutrify. And so I worked with Convoy of Hope, a 501c3 nonprofit. I worked with their nutritionalist and analyzed their base meals that they're giving and what the macros and micros that those children needed. And so we developed Sizzle Nutrify to be the exact supplement that they needed to be nutrified and get all the vitamins and minerals that they needed. And it was designed for large feeding programs. And then from there, we kind of expounded on that and went into the more localization of the day of service in honor of my grandfather. And that was actually the first one, was right after Mire Mountain. And my dad's like, you want to do a day of service? Let's do it on my dad's birthday. I'm like, that is in 7 days. And so we had to plan the whole first service project in like 7 days. But it was amazing and it was fun. And we did a whole service project at a park cleaning up. But then in marketing also, with project management, seasonal catalogs, we've brought all of that. But in product marketing, I have to do with everything from ideation on products. A lot of people don't realize that everyone says you have so many products, I don't know how you come up with more product ideas. But little do they know, we already have like 20 something planned for next year. We have at all times, I think we have about 40 new products that we're working continually on developing right now.
Or enhancing and making better.
Oh yeah, or enhancing, making better, working on new processes. So there's a lot of new products and ways to innovate new current products that we're always working on. And so that's a big role that we have in R&D. And then from there, the market research, the formulation, the sampling. I think you guys are even testing out some other fun products that hopefully will come out soon. Packaging, and then kind of through that whole operation side. But then on sales, like I said, we go out to international markets. We go all over the States and help do sales and presentations and fun stuff like this. Because really, it was funny. We were at Pennsylvania Masters, and we were sitting in a barn in Amish land playing pickleball. And I remember thinking this is the coolest industry that I can go from Pennsylvania playing pickleball with 100 Amish people, and then in 2 weeks I can fly to Japan and go tuna fishing with distributors in Japan. And that's the beauty of network marketing. I love that in network marketing, you can have friends all around the world, and they're all like-minded, success-driven individuals. They have sayings all the time that if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with 5 millionaires and you'll be the sixth. If you want to be any other successful, if you want to be an amazing athlete, hang out with 5 amazing athletes and you'll be the sixth. If you want to be a college graduate, hang out with 5 college graduates and you'll be the sixth. So that's why I love network marketing, because you are surrounded by people that hopefully you will be the sixth and you're the average of success. So on to that, let's go on to how Sisel impacts your life. What you said, it's like growing up in this family, growing up in Sisel. I think one of the biggest things that Sisel has changed my life that I really saw when I left the house and got into college is investigate everything for a deeper understanding. It doesn't teach you to be paranoid, but it does teach you to be critical of what you're putting in. You realize all of these hidden things. It's like the Honest Company that Jessica Alba came out with, the famous actress, and all of it was about honesty. And then it came out that there were sulfates in it. And you have Procter and Gamble that for years and years always talked about we don't have 1,4-dioxane. And then they ended up getting a lot of pushback in 2016. They removed it from some of them, and then New York banned it in 2024, just last year, and they ended up recalling like 8 million detergents because they still had 1,4-dioxane in it. And so those kind of things, it teaches you to look deeper beyond just people saying, I'm an honest company. Look actually and turn the bottle and see really what's in it and everything in life. I think it's smart to look and investigate deeper into what you're consuming and what your family or what's around your family. Also, I think it teaches you to deal with integrity and honesty completely. I think that is the soul. It's funny. We used to always growing up, you could not lie in our family. We had a famous word that you could never say if you were lying, and that word was honest. If you said honest, and I don't know why, I mean, we could have easily lied growing up and said honest, but if you said, did you clean your room? And you could say, yeah, I did. But if ever they said, say honest, and you didn't, you'd try to say honest without saying the T or some other way of saying it. But you could not lie if you said honest. And just from that was ingrained in us from when I was 4 years old that I could not lie and say honest. It made it impossible to get away with stuff in our family. My dad could never tell us a joke because we'd always say honest. And he also would never lie to it. So I think around Sisel Safe, the Mower mission, it teaches you to be honest in all of your dealings and to have integrity. It teaches you to be passionate about life, about friends, about family, about wanting to be, I mean, really with Mower mission, beyond just healthy, clean products, I think that it's more about helping your neighbors. I mean, that's how it started with us back in the 80s. It was from my grandpa wanting to have a safe household and doing shampoos and conditioners and soaps for his family. And then neighbors wanted to be in on it. The delivery driver wanted to be in on it. So he started doing it just to help out family and friends. And that's really how the Sisel or how the Mower mission started, was just wanting to help your neighbors and be a better person and being passionate for everyone else. And then the last thing is happiness. Like I said, going from PA to tuna fishing and Japan with distributors, that's what this industry is about. If you are not having fun, my grandpa used to always say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. He'd also always say, if that doesn't get you fired up, your wood's wet. Because this industry is fun. It is fun to come to Mower Mountain. It's fun to go to different events and meet with people and do tasting talks. And it's a fun industry. And if you're not having fun, then what's the point in it? You got to have fun in everything that you do. And then also, the one thing that I did realize, you have Sisel is an acronym. hopefully everyone knows that by now. There's science, innovation, success, energy, and then that last one, longevity. What I've learned by growing up with the Mauer mission, with being a part of Sisel, is that last L is very important to me. It's, yes, achieving healthy aging, and it's building the next generation. But I believe it's really for building that next generation. That is the beauty of Sizzle. It's about having trust that this can go to your kids, to your grandkids, that it's a family business for us. My grandpa passed to my dad will pass to us, and then we'll have, if you see and hear, my first little boy, Hayes. And then all the grandkids with Thomas's kids, with my dad and my mom. But it's about passing it on to the next generation, being at a company that you feel comfortable enough that it's going to go to the next generation. Because in nowadays, you hear about it selling off to capital or all these different ways that they collapse. And some of the ways that we guarantee is we've introduced the dynasty trust, that Sizzle cannot be sold outside of the Mauer family for 999 years. We've also made sure that Sizzle's debt free because we want to make sure that there's no outside stakeholders. And so these are some of the ways that we make sure that this can be passed on to our children and then also be passed on to all of your children. All right.
Oh,
That's a little about us, but I know that
awesome.
we're short on time, or a little short on time. I have to go at 5:45 or so, so I want to make sure that I get to some of the fun stuff. One of the products that we came out with is the Sizzle Gut Essentials. This is one that's near and dear to me and Thomas. We first developed the Sizzle Gut Essentials, and this took about 2 or 3 years of us testing on friends and family and testing flavors to finally come out with the Sizzle Gut Essentials in January. And I really want to focus on the digestive enzyme support, which I believe is unlike any product on the market when it comes to enzymes and gut health. So first, it's formulated to promote the natural production of enzymes. It also helps reduce gas and bloating, indigestion, and enhance nutrient absorption, because everything with enzymes, whatever you eat, has to be broken down into absorbable parts, and that's all done by enzymes. So what we've done in here, we've really focused on giving you the enzymes that you need for every major food group, whether that's fat, carbohydrates, proteins, dairy, fiber, sugar. We want to make sure that there's an enzyme in there that will help you break that down, as well as papaya fruit is an amazing enzyme. But also, we've added some cofactors that I'll talk about after that, but we want to make sure that you have the enzymes that you're introducing it to break down all of that food. We also added alpha galactosidase and beta glucanase. I'm always bad at saying those ones, to really help reduce that bloating, that gas that causes when you're eating really slow fermenting food. But also we didn't want to just add enzymes. We wanted to help your body enhance its natural ability to create enzymes. And so that's why we added cofactors for enzymes. This is the thiamine, the vitamin B6, the calcium, the magnesium, the manganese. All of these help boost and strengthen those enzymes that you just ingested, but it also helps naturally produce the enzymes when you're not taking the product and helps really boost all of those. And also we added the fulvic powder, which Thomas always calls the helper compound, because this is an amplifier for all of those enzymes. If it's going to break down protein, that fulvic powder is going to make it break down protein better. If it's breaking down fiber, it's going to break down the fiber better. The proteases, the lipases, all of those enzymes work better with fulvic powder. And that's one that you're not going to see in any other. And fulvic powder, fulvates, those are the same thing, but that's one that you will not see in any other enzyme formula. Also, we added white chlorella. So not only is this an amazing ingredient that's packed with nutrients, it has all 9 essential amino acids, but we really wanted this in there for the potential for metal detox. So specifically, if you're eating a lot of large fish that has mercury, or foods all around tend to have metals in them, it's really important to metal detox and have something like this that can help grab those metals and pull them from your system. So we really wanted to add white chloride for that, but not only is it an amazing nutrient or super nutrient. Also in there, we added, just to help soothe stomach, we added ginger, we added chicory root and spinach powder. These are great probiotic or prebiotics and fibers to really help digestion. So I love this product for when you're eating a really heavy meal. I actually, funny enough, there's a sandwich shop down the street that I noticed every time I eat a sandwich from there, I feel really tired. And I noticed that my body wasn't converting and breaking down those carbs very well from had delicious bread. And so I started testing it, and I ate it, would get really tired, and then I would try an enzyme, and I took the enzyme right before I ate it, and I realized I didn't get tired. And so I wanted to see if it would work without doing that. So I went back the next day, had the sandwich, got tired. And so the next day I had like 6 of these sandwiches throughout the week testing it. But I realized that when I was having this food, my body was digesting all of the carbs. And maybe I shouldn't have been eating all of those carbs ones. January, I won't be eating as many of those. But the enzymes was really helping me digest all that meat and carbs and bread. And it was making me less tired. And so this product is a game changer, and it's one that you can share with your family and friends and guaranteed see results. And it really helps you be a believer of the product. Last thing, before I pass the time on to Thomas to talk about some of our other amazing products, I wanted to do one last recap of Mower Mountain. So if you are on the fence right now for Mower Mountain, this is a crucial event that we've seen evidence that people that come to Mower Mountain achieve higher ranks because it is a great networking event, great training, and all around fun, and gives you the faith and sizzle when you see all of the infrastructure that we've created here. So if you're on the fence, here's kind of what it's going to look like. So if you can see the screen, there is some photos. The first day you're going to have registration, a wonderful welcome social where we had Sisel products, Vicodin, Spectrumax, drinks. We had coffee, desserts, some Sisel lean chicken parfaits, and all these delicious things. I can't even say what half of the fancy names are for them, but they're delicious. I know that Marie could for sure with her cooking. But the second day, we go up to the ranch. We have side-by-sides and horses, and you get the full ranch experience, fishing. You can dunk Milo in the dunk tank. I'm sure he'll let you if you just give him $1. Thomas can try. Sometimes he ends up missing the target, but you can give him $1 to try as well. But it's a really fun day up at the ranch to understand the Mower family, where we come from. But then the next is the manufacturing tour. This is where you see the infrastructure of Supernaturals, and it's where all of the Sizzle products are made and how we're able to control everything from the raw ingredients, how they come in, to the full testing process, all the way through to having a finished good to when it's shipped to you. And it really gives you the faith. Even just Ellie, who just signed on with us, she came just a couple weeks ago, and she came in and saw, and she's like, this is undersold just how amazing the manufacturing plant is, and how this is unlike anything anyone in the industry has, is our ability to be product first. We were product researchers before we were product sellers. So you'll get a tour of that. And then this next year, we're doing leadership training, which you can see Peter and Marie in there doing some leadership training last time, but we're going to do some leadership training. And then the last day is corporate training, where we already have a handful of products that we're looking to launch at next year's event. And we have an amazing recognition gala where we have a keynote speaker. We have recognition. You can see in here where Peter and Marie ended up winning, I believe, the Shining or Rising or Brilliant Star, one of those. And so it's a great event. If you're on the fence, definitely highly recommend to buy your ticket and start competing for the Friday night dinner that we're going to be doing, and some of the qualifications to win your free trip to Mower Mountain.